don't know. You're gonna have to ask Aliyah that question. I honestly, you just do your work. You gotta do your work early, and make it different. But Aliyah did say I have a special whistle. And she shot 13 today. Yeah. Yeah, she said the last game I had a special whistle, which is cool.
Oh, here we go again. The excuses came flying faster than a missed free throw the moment Aliyah Wilson and Becky Hammon realized they'd been outplayed by the Indiana Fever. Instead of giving credit where it's due, they turned the spotlight on the referees, claiming the game was rigged, the calls were biased, and the officials handed Indiana the win. Come on now. Are we just going to ignore Aliyah Boston's total domination in the paint or Kelsey Mitchell's ice-cold clutch shots down the stretch? Because that's exactly what Wilson and Hammon want fans to believe, that none of it mattered, that it was all some grand officiating conspiracy. But anyone who actually watched the game knows the truth. The Fever didn't win by luck or because of a bad whistle. They earned it. They matched the reigning champs shot for shot, board for board, and outworked them in every hustle play. Indiana came with size, fire, grit, and heart, and Vegas simply couldn't keep up. Still, instead of admitting the Fever brought the heat, the Aces camp is pushing this wild storyline that the refs were somehow in Indiana's pocket. Really? That's the narrative now? Sounds more like denial than defense.
The look on your face while you're looking at that box score, I'm wondering what's really standing out to you there.
I was just looking at the fouls. Like, Bliss had 5, Jackie had 5, Chelsea had 5. And that's very interesting to me because I'm not saying we don't foul. Yeah, we foul here and there, but that's very interesting.
And here's where the irony hits full blast, because honestly, this is comedy gold. Coming from Aliyah Wilson, we're talking about a player who basically has a permanent residence at the free throw line. Let's be real, all season long, Aliyah so much as breathes in the paint, and the refs are already reaching for their whistles. But the moment the calls stop going her way, suddenly it's all the refs are against us. You seriously couldn't script this any better. Now let's break it down. The Fever took 34 free throws compared to the Aces' 11. The stat Becky Hammon practically waved around at the post-game presser like it was a crime scene exhibit. See, the refs robbed us, but here's the truth bomb. Indiana earned. Every one of those trips to the line, Aliyah Boston was a straight-up powerhouse down low, bulldozing through the lane, going chest to chest with Aliyah, and forcing real, undeniable contact. The officials didn't gift her those calls. She worked for them. That's what happens when you play fearless, physical basketball. You attack, you absorb the hit, and you make the defense pay. And if Vegas didn't want to rack up fouls, maybe, just maybe, don't hack someone every time they post up. It's not rocket science.
Asia, it looks like they really were intentional about going to Aliyah in the second half. What was, I guess, difficult about containing her? I think you guys kind of touched on a few things, maybe with the foul calls, but what made it successful for them to keep going to her tonight?
I don't know. You're gonna have to ask Aliyah that question. I honestly, you do your work. You gotta do your work early, and make it different. But Aliyah did say I had a special whistle. And she shot 13 today.
She said that to you?
Yeah, she said the last game I had a special whistle, which is cool. So we just gotta play their better defense, make her look a little difficult, and
But apparently, in Aliyah Wilson's world, Aliyah Boston didn't just play tough. She had some kind of secret whistle hookup. According to Aliyah, Boston even admitted after the game that she's got one. Like, what? Let's pump the brakes right there. There's no such thing as a golden whistle that magically follows a player around the league. Boston didn't get special treatment. She got rewarded for doing exactly what dominant players do: attack the rim and draw contact. Meanwhile, Aliyah spent half the game settling for mid-range fadeaways. And here's a quick reality check. Referees don't hand out free throws for jump shots. That's just not how basketball works. You want calls, you go inside, you take the hit, and you finish strong. Simple. And let's not pretend Aliyah hasn't lived off the whistle for years. This is the same player who's been gifted more free throws than entire teams at times. The one Fever fans constantly point to for getting bailed out on touch fouls. But now, suddenly, she's the one being wronged? Please, that's like the teacher's pet who's been getting free candy all year throwing a tantrum the one day the teacher forgets the Skittles. Come on, Aliyah, you've had your share of friendly whistles. Maybe this time you just ran into someone who played harder and didn't need one.
And 4.
What? Oh my God, that's interesting. That's what I was looking at. We'll do better. We gotta play better defense.
I'm interested. You mean that shit?
Yeah, I can't say that, Chris. I got a brain. But
Say it, I have no money.
yeah, it's interesting. But we'll be better.
Now, Becky Hammond wasn't any better. Trust me, she walked into that press conference with the smugness absolutely cranked all the way up and delivered her big mic drop moment. They shot 34, we shot 11. Next question. That's it. That was her entire analysis. Forget strategy, forget adjustments, forget that Boston and Mitchell completely outplayed her stars. Nope, it was all the refs' fault. If that's the coaching philosophy, then maybe the Aces seriously need a new game plan. Because last time I checked, blaming refs doesn't win championships.
Coach, how much Liz foul trouble impacted you on the rotation and her impact on the defensive end?
Yeah, I mean, it hurts us. We need to be able to play Liz heavy minutes. She's been an impactful player in this series. I gotta go back and look at the tape, but it seemed like there was a lot of grabbing and holding down there. That got called one way.
Anything else?
I did appreciate it was a little tighter call, but tighter on both ends would have been.
Okay, now this is where things get really entertaining. Because Becky Hammond actually tried to sell the idea that this game was officiated differently than the rest of the series. You don't say, Becky. Maybe, just maybe, that's because the Indiana Fever finally stopped settling for mid-range jumpers and started attacking the paint like they meant it. Or maybe it's because Aliyah Boston decided to remind everyone why she was the number 1 overall pick in the first place. Just a thought. And let's not pretend Vegas was playing squeaky clean basketball. Jackie Young had 5 fouls. Chelsea Gray had 5 fouls. And wait for it, Liz Cambage, oh right, she's not even in the league anymore. Scratch that. But you get the picture. The Aces were hacking left and right. And the refs? They did exactly what they're supposed to do. They called it. They didn't rig the game. They didn't pick sides. They just enforced the rules. Meanwhile, Fever fans are laughing hysterically because for months they've had to listen to the tired narrative that the only reason Indiana wins is because of Caitlin Clark. Well, guess what? Clark's been sidelined. And Aliyah Boston? She stepped into that spotlight like a superstar. She went toe-to-toe with Aja Wilson and flat out owned her. That's not luck. That's not favoritism. That's dominance. Boston dropped 24 points and 14 rebounds while Kelsey Mitchell exploded for 25, hitting clutch shot after clutch shot and completely outshining Jackie Young. And Odyssey Sims? She cooked off the bench, crossing defenders like it was an open gym session. That's not ref help. That's basketball. The Fever came in with the better game plan, executed it perfectly, and wanted it more. But instead of giving credit where it's due, Aja and Becky went straight to the oldest excuse in the book, blame the refs. The moment Vegas loses, suddenly it's a conspiracy. But when they win, games off questionable calls, crickets. Complete silence. That's the hypocrisy here. Vegas has benefited from generous whistles for years. Becky Hammond herself has praised the officiating when the calls went her way. But now that the scales finally tipped the other direction, it's suddenly a grand league-wide plot. Please, let's call it what it is. Deflection. The Aces just don't want to admit they got outplayed. They don't want to admit Aliyah Boston bullied their front court, Kelsey Mitchell cooked their guards, and their bench gave them absolutely nothing. So instead of accountability, they point fingers at the refs. It's lazy, it's weak, and honestly, it's embarrassing for a team that never stops bragging about being the standard. And here's the kicker. Aces fans are eating this narrative up online. Twitter is flooded with posts claiming the WNBA wants Caitlin Clark in the finals for ratings. Like, really? As if Adam Silver is sitting in a secret command center sending messages to refs saying, get Indiana through. Be serious. If the league actually wanted guaranteed ratings, they'd prefer the defending champs, Wilson, Gray, and Young, back in the finals. That's a safer, more marketable matchup than Indiana, who just climbed out of the basement last season. The conspiracy just doesn't add up. And can we stop pretending Caitlin Clark's success is some league agenda? This is year 2. She's proven herself. The Fever have proven themselves. And Aliyah Boston has proven she's every bit the franchise cornerstone she was drafted to be. Now let's revisit the stat Becky and Aja are clinging to like it's gospel.